this is the photo that has been making the rounds. This is Kanye West wearing a t-shirt that says White Lives Matter. Standing next to him is conservative commentator Candace Owens, who is also wearing a t-shirt that says White Lives Matter. It's quite a striking photo. Quite striking. You cannot go anywhere online, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whether it's any news website, without seeing this photo. And boy, oh boy, do people have opinions about this. So I want to dive today right into the most controversial aspect of this. Any tweet that you see, any article that you read, any reaction from the left, who are just triggered by orders of magnitude here, focuses on this phrase, White Lives Matter. And the claim from the left is that this is a white supremacist phrase. That if you say white lives matter, that you are a white nationalist, that this is a hateful phrase. And they equate this. They say saying white lives matter is the same as saying all lives matter. Apparently this makes you racist. And I would just like to dispute this for a second. I would just like to explore why this is. What about this phrase is racist? I don't understand the controversy here. So the Anti-Defamation League claimed that this is a hateful phrase, and their justification or their explanation for why they have labeled White Lives Matter as a hateful racist phrase is because they say after the phrase Black Lives Matter was coined back in 2015, they claim white supremacist groups or small groups of white nationalists started using the phrase White Lives Matter as a racist response to Black Lives Matter. And I thought to myself, this is a stretch even for a leftist organization, right? Because there are always going to be bad people in our country, bad people on any side of the aisle, bad people who have horrible views on race, bad people who have horrible views on gender, bad people who have horrible views on religion. There are always going to be bigoted, hateful, evil people. But we're very lucky to live in a country where bigoted, evil, hateful people are like a fringe minority of people in our country. Like the smallest sliver of our population. And so to claim that saying all lives matter or white lives matter means that you associate with this fringe group of white supremacists would be as absurd as saying, well, a white nationalist group also says Merry Christmas. They send out Christmas cards that say Merry Christmas. Therefore, if you say Merry Christmas, well, you must align with the white nationalist views. That's how stupid this argument is. Because the phrase white lives matter or the phrase all lives matter, dissect this with me. What does this mean? White lives matter and all lives matter mean that we acknowledge the dignity, the inherent, unalienable dignity of all human lives. That skin color is not a determining factor over whether your life matters. Whether you are due equal rights, constitutionally protected rights, but equal rights under the law. Whether or not you are a child of God. It is a response to the Black Lives Matter movement, because the Black Lives Matter movement isn't about protecting or defending Black lives. It certainly isn't about police brutality, and we can get into the problems with the Black Lives Matter movement in just a second. But the Black Lives Matter movement is divisive. It's not just defending Black lives, it's trying to blame white people, actually not just blame, falsely accuse white people of committing crimes against Black people and getting away with those crimes, specifically police-involved shootings. We know that that's not true. So who says that White Lives Matter is a racist phrase? And why is all lives matter a racist phrase? Why is it a bigoted thing to propose that every person has dignity and value regardless of the color of their skin? Anybody who tells you this, any leftist, any Democrat, any Hollywood celebrity, any news organization that looks you in the eye and says it's problematic if you claim that everyone has dignity regardless of their skin color, if you use the phrase all lives matter or white lives matter, they have a political agenda, and that political agenda is using racialism to divide our country because their goal is Marxism, and they know in order to impose Marxism, they have to divide and conquer. They have to turn one group of people against another group of people. They have to label some people as oppressed and others as the oppressor so that they can gin up fear and anger among the people they have labeled as oppressed in order to try to revolt against the people they have labeled as oppressed. That's what we're seeing. That's why you're told that you're racist if you say white lives matter or all lives matter.